Hello and welcome back to City Skylines 2. My name's Nebman, I'm the founder of Nebman Industries and I've got an unlimited budget to build the city of my dreams. We're playing on my very own custom map called Starfish Point and we're doing pretty well, I think. We're making progress, we're doing alright. In the last episode we built this kind of medical university tech park alongside the river. Just out the back of downtown, just to kind of fill the gaps, give it a more space, and it kind of flows the density down a little bit as well as we come out, as you can see. In the top left corner, that's what we're going to be working on in today's video, making a bit more progress on that area and hopefully making it look a little bit nicer, making downtown fit, because at the moment without anything in that space behind it, it just feels a bit empty and it doesn't feel like it has a purpose just yet. So we're going to give it a go and see if we can start filling out that area. If you like the channel and you want early access to videos, you can become a channel member for a small price per month. Helps me out massively, but you don't have to do it. Everybody still sees the videos, you just get it slightly earlier with channel membership, just to let you know. But yes, let's take a look and think about how we're going to progress that area behind downtown. So taking a look at the area here, this is what we built in the last episode, this university kind of medical research building right on the edge of the highway here, and then we've built some custom areas around that with, I believe this is a Japanese university just on the edge here. We've added a few custom pathways, custom tennis courts and stuff like that, but I think it's come along quite nicely. And it definitely makes it feel a little bit more full. But this whole open green area is where we need to work on and see what we can develop within that space, and hopefully our city will start looking more like a city, because over in that end it's pretty huge. It's quite a large city. But in the high density area, which is, to be fair, we've only started it recently, it is not all that busy. So we need to kind of work on making that look a little bit nice and maybe somehow blend it in to our lovely little airport that we've got down here too. So we'll give that a go. Good. So the first thing that I am toying with the idea of is in this curved bit here. Some of you will probably know what I'm going to do, but this building here, I think would be a decent sort of location for it, because it's a little bit larger, so it helps us flow the density over the highway. But just the shape of it is a little bit better, isn't it? It kind of, you know what I mean. It just is a little bit more unique than just having square buildings everywhere. And all that good stuff. So I think we're going to probably try and see if we can potentially use this building. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go straight ahead and I'm going to place that there like that. Don't worry, it's not going to stay there. I just want to try and essentially grab some of the grid, because I want this to be at a 90-degree angle, so that me placing this building doesn't really throw off the grid, if you know what I mean. So if that goes out like that, it should be pretty straight, hopefully. So let's go ahead and pick that again, and if we drop that onto the road, probably about here. We could do it here, but I think we're going to have it quite nice and wrapped into the highway. Whack that there, just like that, and then we want to delete these trees, because we don't want those trees on our off slip, because that'll be a very bad time for anybody that's going to drive down that road. So we'll do that, get rid of those trees. That's then nicely angled to the rest of the city. We could probably get rid of this road now, like that. And that will look a little bit better, a little bit more blended in, just like so. Good. In regards to this section here, what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of greenery blended around the side of the highway. It doesn't matter if we go over onto the highway, because the greenery, thankfully, doesn't overflow onto the highway. So we're just going to put some greenery here around the edge, like so. We'll probably, for the time being, we'll do it down to here, link it up to there, and then just place it all around the outside here like that. And then it kind of looks a little bit better on the highway side. So let's put a few small looking trees here, just along the edge, just like that. Too many, but just a few to fill the space, like so. Good. And then we'll just do the same, probably to about there for the time being, I reckon. Probably about there is fine, and we'll decide on what we're going to do with this space shortly. I think that's quite a good little spot for it. I think that's a decent little spot. And then once we start filling in the space around that, I think that'll look quite good. Fantastic. The next thing I want to work on is trying to decide on a road connection that will come out, and we'll start probably developing a few roads out and just seeing how we kind of get on and how we end up. So I'll start having a little plan and see what we can come up with. So I'm just working on some road connections for our new area. I've got some weird looking layout here, but it's different, which is okay. I think we might do something like this potentially. I'm kind of inclined to change all of this to the yellow line in the middle, just to see how it looks. So I actually think it looks a little bit better like that than with the central avenue sort of residential island sort of thing. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. I don't know. Somebody tell me. I don't know. I can't cope with this pressure. Everybody's watching. Good. Next I'm going to do fill in some of these blocks here. What did I want to use? We could potentially use maybe some natural stone, a little bit of this maybe. That'll be fine. Just fill in the central bits here. See if we can bring that around our filter lane. Oh, I don't think that colour goes. Oh no, get rid of that one. That doesn't look very nice at all. Maybe let's go with just like a natural stone. That'll be good. Go with that and see how it looks. So we want to just fill in the surface area of these sections. That's a little bit better. And do exactly the same on this side, like that. Yeah, it's fine. It'll be alright. And then what we might do here is, can we actually turn that little section into a highway? I'm sure we will be able to. Just to kind of get rid of the pavements. We need the pavements over there, but just maybe for this little section in the middle here. And then if we just pull that out to there, drag that down to there, pull that out to here, and drag that out to there. I think that looks a little bit better like that than with the pavements. Good. I might add in just a literal dot of tree. Just something like that. Just to fill it out a bit. and that could be an entrance into this kind of sector here. This is going to be a cul-de-sac, so we're going to whack a small cul-de-sac at the end of that, and we're going to drag this all the way out down to this road that we've got going on here, like that. This can probably come out all the way as well, just like that. Fantastic. And I think potentially this can just be green grass in this section here. I don't think we're going to benefit from putting anything else within these gaps, so we'll just fill that out with a little bit of green grass there, and that kind of looks more fitted. The only problem that we'll have is because we've upgraded this, we don't have the connections for power, so let's just grab the end of that like that, and then grab the end of that and go like that, and ta-da, good, fantastic. Right, we need to blend in a little bit of this, grab that, put a few trees around this section, make it nice and dangerous for the helicopter to take off. Fantastic. And then we need to decide on what building is going to go here. Building or buildings, whatever we think is going to fit in here. It has to be something quite nice, I reckon, and probably something relatively modern. I would suggest that this little Japanese office building from the signature buildings pack actually looks alright. I think that's quite a good little building to have here. Kind of fits the theme here, and it's slightly unique, nothing too crazy, but it is a little bit more unique than just a basic boring sort of building. So I'm gonna say that I'm happy with that. I think that looks okay. Good. What I might do though is just adjust some of the surfaces a little bit, just so that we can blend it in with the path on this side. Do the same with this. We can actually find it. It's all a bit weird, isn't it? All a bit skew-if. So link those up together like that. We would like you to come all the way down to here, then way down to there. It's quite hard to see because of shadow what's going on underneath. I would be inclined to potentially see if we could draw out a little bit of surface area all the way out to here. Something similar to this. So that it looks like this gap here is somewhat walkable, if you know what I mean. Like that. Oh, I think it's getting a bit weird now. Decisions. I'm not really sure now, to be honest with you. Maybe at that angle it's probably alright. We've obviously managed to take hold of the grass there. But I think that, if we just draw that out to the road there, bring that out at a nice 180. I think that's probably reasonable. Just need to straighten that out as well at 180. And that looks a little bit more like a plaza, he says. Not convinced just yet. A little bit of detailing might change my mind. So a few minor adjustments, as you can see. We've got these buildings now, so we've combined two of these to make kind of one building. I don't really know how to explain that. That's two buildings joined together as one. Again, this building here, we've adjusted the surface areas and the pathways here, just to kind of try and blend them in a little bit. Same with this, just to give it a little bit of a surface area. I think that's alright, to be honest. I don't think that's too bad at all. We're gonna think about probably filling in this area next. I think that will probably make the most sense to start building this way to begin with. So, not sure what's put in here at the moment. So I'm going to have a little look and a little think to see what would potentially go well there. Just doing a few minor adjustments in this little section here. Essentially filling in this gap. Again, we've gone something modern technical university to continue fitting the theme, with this being a tech area, a research area, a university sort of area. That's kind of what we're going for. So we're just kind of trying to stick with that vibe. I know in real life you wouldn't have a million universities all in the exact same spot, but this is just chill, bro. It's cool. It's city vibes. We're alright. I'm not going for anything crazy. I am just trying to build kind of what I want to build, which is absolutely fine. So I might put that there and then that there, and see if we can just move that slightly. Oh, why does it do that? That's so annoying that it does that. Yeah, it's fine. It'll be alright, no problem. But then that just fills that. It just fit perfectly in that gap, so I just kind of had to do it. That's an extension building. I put that there, extended that out, and then just added a few little adjustments in here to kind of blend it in a little bit. But I think it's looking quite good. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad at all. It's definitely starting to feel a lot more full up now, which is really good. It's what we like to see. Yeah, it's really good. I like the way that it's coming together. What I might do is utilize this road connection that's already here. I'm just going to put that out just to there for the time being. Obviously we've got this road here, which would probably benefit from also going out a little bit more, but I'm also undecided on whether I want to potentially make use of that road by putting, I don't know, something like the bank really symmetrical at the end of the road, something like that. You know what I mean? But I'm not entirely sure if that works. It's a nice looking building, and it's a nice sort of straight road directly to it, but I don't think we really need that there. As much as it's cool to have, I don't think that's completely necessary at the moment. So what we'll probably do, let's just check to make sure there's no other cool buildings that could go there. So obviously we've got the no, it's because this building's here and it's a little bit too high. You can't really get the good view on the approach, so I don't think it's actually worth having something there. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to extend this road out nice and straight, just up to wherever, nowhere in particular, just like that. Do the same with this road. We're just going to branch it out, just create some further sort of road connections like so, make them look like they're meant to be there. Then we'll continue with what we're doing. These roads will probably be adjusted and changed. I'm just, for the time being, going to whack them down so that we've got an idea of where our roads may be or may not be going. But it would be nice to kind of somewhat stick with a grid in this section, and we need to somehow blend it in with the airport as well. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, I think. We might even benefit from a connection across here linking into that road. I wonder if we could potentially chuck a bridge or a tunnel just going over there and linking back into there. Possible. I'll come back to that point. Okay, I've done a little bit of work of adding a small bridge that essentially connects up this road and then around here. I just need to soften the terrain a little bit around said bridge and lead up to the bridge to make it look a little bit nicer and more natural, which is fine by just doing that. And then the same along on this side as well, just to try and make it look a little bit nicer like that. And I think that's okay. Yeah, I think that's quite a nice little natural bridge there, to be honest with you. I think that's come across quite nicely. Happy with that. I did want to link this over somehow, but I don't think it's going to work, to be honest with you, just due to the distance between each of the ways through. I mean, it just won't connect over, I don't think. Which is a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. We could always put a footbridge. Footbridge could work. Just a small path that goes across or up and down like that, or something similar. But yeah, no, the little bridge does help quite a bit. That when we have a few more things here, just easing the traffic off of that will be quite important, I believe. So I'm just working my way through in placing some office buildings along this portion here. Just trying to fill it in a bit. Nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting or perfect, but just a few medium sort of density, medium to slightly higher, just along the perimeter here, because I mean it looks quite good. Having it all filled up quite nicely. If we just do this corner here, I think it'll look pretty nice actually. We just need to kind of decide on how we're going to fit some buildings in here, because it's going to be quite a tight fit, I think. So even if we manage to run some roads like that, that could potentially work. No. So I just kind of decided there and then that was just going to be a no. Yeah, just trying to think of how we're going to kind of squeeze these in. This can just be a dead end, I reckon, is probably the best bet. Just like that. If we just pop that in there, we might be able to just fit a couple more buildings in, just to kind of try and blend it in a little bit. Just like that, and then see what we can kind of pick out from here. Something like that probably would be the best bet. Similar to this, and then just put a smaller one along there. I think that fits relatively nicely, and then we can figure out what kind of buildings that we want to place in this gap here to fill it up. Maybe if we adjust the lot size, these probably work a little bit better because they're a little bit smaller. Oh, it's quite difficult, really, isn't it? What about 5x5? Do we have anything good for 5x5? Not really. 6x5? No. This could work. A couple of these, they're all sort of the same building though, aren't they? Just with a bit more parking. We want something a little bit taller than that. 4x6. Something like that would probably work, actually. That one, right on the end. That'd probably fill out relatively nicely, and that can blend into being one building. This is the problem with not having asset editor. There's just so many repeat buildings, and it kind of, when you're building a city of size, you're just always going to end up using all of the same assets somewhere along the way, which is really frustrating. Because I'd love to just have custom assets and be able to build and build and build. But hopefully in the future, you never know. They might decide to actually release asset editor, and the thing is, in my opinion, if they did do that, it would change the entire game completely change the entire game, because I can play this as a city painter absolutely fine. I have no issues with the game whatsoever. I just want a few assets to play with. That's literally it. So maybe one day, when Asset Editor is released, we're going to see some real marvellous creations. I can tell you that for free. And hopefully, I'll still be doing YouTube at that point. and you'll see some crazy projects by myself. I hope. I very much hope so. We need to try and swing a bit of residential in here somewhere. This is all very officey, but I think that actually looks really nice. I think that's nicely filled out. Nothing too crazy, but a decent variety of buildings along that sort of edge there. Definitely, if you're looking at it from the top, feels a little bit more natural, although it's still very perfect sort of city sort of vibes instead of natural growth. Yeah, fair enough. But I still think that's quite decent to kind of fill out the gaps, if you know what I mean. So I've just had a thought. If we have a little look, it looks alright, it's filling out quite nicely. But I've just had a thought that I would quite like this road to go over, around, and then connect up to this avenue here. Kind of makes sense because it's kind of a big arterial road, and it also will ease a lot of the pressure off there as well. In order to do that, we're going to have to cut back quite a few of these buildings, probably lower these train lines or train tracks, you can kind of see here. So it's going to be a bit of a project, but I think we'll probably give it a go. I might just try it and see what happens, because then this doesn't just have like a dead end, if you know what I mean. So I think that'll be the plan. So what we'll do is we're just going to essentially destroy all of those, and then we're going to drop that back. We're going to get rid of that road, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to, where are we? What do we need? Need this level terrain tool. Take that up to 10 meters. We're gonna, where do we want it? We'll just do it all the way across for the time being, just like this. 10 meters all here. And then we'll do it all here as well, just so that we've got plenty of space to work with. And all we want to do then is right click here and just have a nice slope, a gradual slope all the way over to that 10 meter line, just like that. Just utilize all the space, because all we're going to do is going to cut back the space anyway. We've got these train tracks, which I'm going to pause the game and I'm going to just briefly get rid of them, just for the time being. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing here. Click that, then probably slope it from about here, and we'll do exactly the same on this side. Keep us plenty of room, just like that. That should hopefully allow us to basically run this road across. I am going to pick up all of these trees because they are in the way and I can't really see what I'm doing, to be honest with you. So we'll pick up a few of those, make it a little bit clearer, like that. And hopefully we can kind of sort bits of a connection out. So I think instead of bringing this back up to the surface, what we'll do is we'll maintain that gradient, which will be, let's grab some normal train tracks, just like that. We want to go just underneath. Is that going to hook us up? I hope we're not going to clash with that line, are we? Should we have a little look? I feel like we might clash. We just try and bring that out to here. What will happen? Just do that. We might be able to get it over. It's a possibility. It is a possibility. And we can certainly give it a go. The problem is, we need that to straight line as well. And if we want that to happen, we need to somehow connect this one back up over here. Hopefully it will just allow us to slip it in like that. It does, but that's technically not now straight, is it? Right, let's do it this way instead. Let's straight line that into that. And then let's drag this bad boy as much as we can to there. That seems to work at the moment. The next thing we need to do is see if we can get the road over the top of that, which is also going to be the next problem. Let's just start. Oh wait, no, I'm stupid. So I'm just gonna have to. What am I doing? What am I thinking? I can't think right now. Let's just begin by seeing if this will actually go over here. That's weird. Why is it doing that then? If I click that to elevated, what do we think is going to happen? Nothing useful. So it might be the case that we have to grab. Where are you, son? There you are. Little increment, just like that, and that'll now go over just about. Fantastic. All right, that's good. That's good. What are we gonna do with you then? Are we gonna have to drop it down from this point? I think that's probably going to be the best idea. If we straight line that from here, but then we drop it down 10, and then just run it out. Should be alright to go back up. Hopefully that will allow us to run that road over the top of those and connect it up. Fingers crossed. So this bypass is proving to be more difficult than before. My game actually crashed, but I've managed to now get back onto it. I'm just trying to decorate just a little bit to hopefully blend this train line and new bypass in a bit better, because at the moment it's just plonked there and it doesn't look very good. So a few trees around it hopefully should help it blend a little bit. Same with up on this section just here, help that ease in just a little bit better. Obviously that just swings right around there, connects via a roundabout just there, all looking okay. I might just put a few trees just down here for the time being. Nothing too crazy, just whack them down there. Not going to try and autosave. Not going to try and decorate it too much, because I can imagine this is probably going to change at some point in the near future, but just a few trees just to make it look less empty for the time being. Like that, and then just a couple down here would be grand. Fantastic. Yes, so that's a tree that's not meant to be there. Good, so at least that road now actually goes somewhere, and it probably allows us to now fill in these gaps here with some offices, or no, commercial, or anything, to be honest with you. Just anything, just fill it in, you know. So let's do that. Good, right, so let's pick a certain size. We'll go with 6x6 to begin with. We'll go with high density. Why is that not picking any? Oh yeah, because it's offices, never mind. And let's just start picking a few buildings to go along here to fill in these gaps once again, because once upon a time it was very full, but now it is not. So we just need to get a few buildings that we can whack them in this sort of area. something like that. That can be green, that's no problem. In order to fill out this land, we're going to have to create a few more roads and stuff like that. So what I'm just going to do here is just fill out this empty land. That can be some sort of park area or something similar. Just put some of those in there, and that blends in a little bit better. And what we might do is just try and flow that sort of density just around this section here. So I'm going to add a few roads and we'll go from there. So we'll just start off by bringing this one across like that. And what we do is, I think what we'll do is we'll just pick that one, or pick it about there. And we might be able to pick that there. And I'm thinking maybe we should try to do it a bit like that instead, because then we can fit a few buildings along the edges as well, instead of all just being all together. And then that's 6 by 6. I might put just a little road just along there. Is that really a 90-degree angle? I don't believe it. That'll do. No problem. A road is a road, and a road shall be a road when it's a road. Wonderful. Right, I'm going to decorate these, and then hopefully we'll put some buildings in here next. Okay, so we've added plenty of buildings to the inside of that kind of loop road now, and I think it looks quite good. Yeah, I mean, it looks more like a city is what I would say. A lot of medium and higher density buildings. It definitely makes the whole city itself look more populated. This area now is pretty large. If we look at the whole city, it's quite a decent looking large city, if you ask me. Obviously, yeah, we've obviously still got this space at the back to fill in, which will come, but I quite like it. I think it looks alright. We'll get around to that at some point, not in today's video, but let's just make sure it looks right from all the angles. I think it does. I think it looks quite good. Plenty of unique buildings in there, as well as standard like commercial and office and some residential. I think it's looking quite good. I think that's coming along pretty nicely, and the traffic has definitely eased from this junction, although it's still a bit chaotic. It has eased a bit, so yeah, it's coming together quite nicely, but it actually feels like there's a little bit of shape on the other side of the highway now. I'm quite happy with that. I think that looks good. Let me know what you think, let me know your thoughts, let me know what you think we should put in this space here. I'm open to suggestions. Thank you very, very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Goodbye.